actually explained and hinted at in the cover right here. Right here. Welcome to Jouska, the making and meaning behind the project by Kate Chosen. So when looking at the cover art, you notice that right in the center, there's this prominent figure with this really cool necklace on, and he's looking into the distance, right? And he's surrounded by these four other characters, right? So this was actually created by a good friend of mine. His name is Sho Uehara, and he actually created the cover art for the first project, Nomad's Land. The Nomad is kind of like a representation of who I am and how I've gone through a journey through life and my artistry, just learning more, but kind of being in my own space. I feel like I'm a very independent person and I like to move through things on my own. But as I do projects, as I work with other people, there's a lot of collaboration that happens and it's a lot of community building. So I end up being like this character that feels they're all alone, but really has a lot of people involved in their life. I feel kind of like, think of Batman. Batman always says, I work alone. But he's got Alfred, he's got Robin, he's got Batgirl. So he's actually got a team that doesn't always feature in every episode or in every adventure, but he's not alone. And that's the whole idea of the Nomad, where he thinks he's this sole being who roams the world alone, always traveling no specific home, but he actually has so many people behind him that are supporting him and helping him grow. And I feel like he's the perfect illustration or representation of me as a person in my music. And because of that, any song that has the word nomad in it tends to be a personal experience. A lot of my other songs draw from things I've heard about, conversations I've had, but they're never really from a story that's happened in real life, except for when I talk about the nomad. So in Nomad's Tale Part 1 to 3, which feature Nomad's Land, you should definitely listen to those if you haven't, because Part 4, 263 to 403, is an expansion of that story. It's a continuation of the Nomad so far. So yeah, that's why the Nomad is a principal character in all my projects and exactly why he's in the middle of this album cover, because he's the core of my being. He's kind of where, if Kayla Chosen was to be illustrated, that right there is Kayla Chosen. So now we kind of look at why there's other people around him, because if the Nomad is the principal character, who are all these other rappers around him? And that's where the term and the concept of Jouska really comes into play in the cover art. So remember that Jouska is a hypothetical conversation that you have with yourself, usually very enlightened and with somebody else. I took that and thought of the idea of having a hypothetical reality where K the Chosen has become a super famous person. He's like a celebrity on massive levels. And what then happens is that there's several paths that you could take. I feel like this is like a comic book series of time travel, where K the Chosen travels to different alternative dimensions and gets to meet the several people he could be. So there's this Andre 3000 looking guy who's like the woke brother version of K the Chosen. And I like to call him Conscious K. And that's who that character is. It kind of represents the times when I'm a bit more insightful and self-aware on my tracks and talk about things that are to do with the world and social issues. After that, you've got this really cool looking guy with these colored dreads. And I feel like he represents the trap rapper, the ego side of me, where I like to like just make party tracks and like just drop some dope bars and just, kind of like wild out a little bit. And his name is Lil Young K because he kind of makes me think of Lil Pump in a way. There's a time and place for that kind of music. And I think there's times when I kind of explore that side of myself. The next person is like this really classy, pimp-looking guy. He's suave and he's just, he's just that guy. He's just that guy. But he comes through in some of my lyrics where I guess I'm a bit more braggadocious, where he's really about the punchline rap and like, yo, man, I'm not new to this, man. I know how to write some bars, but I'm also like classy in that way. And then the next person I think is actually the truest form of K the Chosen, I feel, and he's kind of the laid back kind of guy. You can see he's just wearing a plain hoodie and shades, and it's because he'll go out and perform and then chill. It's like being in the background of things. He's not trying to make the tabloids, not trying to be in front of newspapers. He just wants to make music and enjoy making music. And these are all different aspects of what make K the Chosen who he is. And by extension, they kind of all make parts of the Nomad. And in Jouska, we're exploring how each of these characters kind of interacts with fame and how fame interacts with them and how they have grown through their art. And that's how the cover art in itself really embodies the idea of the project and kind of hints or foreshadows the different experiences or different perspectives you're going to have on my journey within Jouska.